Israel reoccupying all of Gaza has been suggested by some Israeli officials?
Well, I don't know what the suggestion is. I know that we are there now trying to get people fed. As you know, $60 million was given by the United States fairly recently to supply food, and a lot of food, frankly, for the people of Gaza that are obviously not doing too well with the food. So that's what I'm focused on. As far as the rest of it, I really can't say. That's going to be pretty much up to Israel.
Yeah, that's just up to Israel. If Netanyahu wants to conquer every square inch of Gaza, it's on them, and we're just focusing on giving out food. I'm not going to acknowledge why it's tough to get the food to them, that the IDF is stopping the aid from coming in. No, we gave them $60 million. Well, it's not $60 million. It's eventually maybe going to be $30 million. It's a tiny fraction of that right now. And we gave it to that organization that was set up basically by Israel, specifically to corral Palestinians down into southern Gaza, so they'll be easier to push down into that one humanitarian city before we ship them around the globe. And that's all I can do. I'm the president of the United States. What more could I possibly do to influence this thing? I'm a tiny little shriveled baby boy. I have no power. I have no military. What am I gonna use? Like tariffs as a tool to influence foreign policy and everything? No. This is a stupid little issue. This isn't like, Brazil pursuing a case against Bolsonaro where I literally jack their tariff up by 50%. It's nothing like that. It's not me adding 25% to the tariff on India because they're buying Russian oil. That's a serious issue. This is a tiny little thing, and I'm a tiny little baby boy, and I can't possibly influence it. And that is unfortunately the message that Donald Trump is sending every single day. He is in a submissive relationship with Benjamin Netanyahu, who calls all the shots, and Donald Trump is never gonna even raise his voice, let alone actually contradict Netanyahu. Well, thankfully, there are some people who are not happy with Netanyahu, and they are having their voice be heard. And about 100,000 of them took to the streets of Tel Aviv to protest against Netanyahu and his decision to effectively conquer the rest of Gaza. So massive demonstrations. They want an end to the military campaign. They want a release of the hostages. Bear in mind, Netanyahu says, against all evidence and against what the experts say, that conquering Gaza City will help get the hostages back. That is obviously not the case. The hostages' families have made clear that they don't think that's the case. They think it is far more likely to end up killing the remaining hostages. And so that's the current situation. We've got the president who's not gonna do a goddamn thing. And then you have inside of Israel, a lot of Israelis who are speaking out against this. Not necessarily for the exact same reasons in some cases that I might, but they don't want a continuation of this military campaign, and that is good news. We've got more on this, but Nina, what do you make of it?
No, that is good news, John, and it is important to point out that it might not be for similar reasons, but the outcome is to stop the madness. President Donald J. Trump, 60 million compared to the multi-billions of dollars that Israel has been given. The fact that only Israel has a superpower backing it compared to what is happening to the Gazans, and who are being pushed out of what was literally an open air prison. They were never able to control their destiny even before October 7th. And sure as hell not able to control their destiny now. This is beyond a humanitarian crisis, John. This is the canary in the coal mine, because as we know, in places like the Sudan that barely gets a mention, places like Congo and Haiti and other places all around the world where there are predominantly Black people, these crises are not even mentioned. The important part to continue to raise about Gaza is that it is with our money. So that is why when people ask the crazy question, why? No, because it is our money that we give to the state of Israel, to a right-wing government every single year, and that gives us greater authority. It is because of international law. It is the Leahy Law. It is the Foreign Assistance Act 620I. And you know what, John? Any politician, but especially Democrats, as we look towards 2028, and I really mean this, and I hope other people mean it too, who do not have the courage to call this what it is, which it is a genocide. Again, they are not fit to run in 2028 at all. And but by the grace of God, there go any of us could be in any of these places. This is, I mean, I'm telling you, I'm trying not to cuss right now, but that's the level that this is on, because it could be any of us. And I've certainly, John, I know you have too, talked to many people who family members are there right now in real time or were there, but they've been murdered. So it's one thing, the murder rate. There's another thing to starve people to death, all people, not just women and babies, because we say women and children as if that is going to pique people to care a little more. No, I'm talking about men, women, and children. We're talking about human beings. And let us not forget who empowered all of this. President Joseph R. Biden does not get a pass.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, that administration was just as weak. Just, no, what are you gonna do? I talked to him. He said he's just gonna keep killing people, I get, yeah. Wouldn't it be great to have someone in power who could actually say, is Benjamin Netanyahu like the scariest, like you get in a room with him, he's just the scariest person on planet. Is he like Jason or Freddy or something? Why are they all so utterly scared of him? I will never understand that. I will never, these people, they stand up to Putin. I mean, not Donald Trump, but others, they stand up to Putin or whatever, no big deal. China, bring it, we'll stop you, China. When it's Benjamin Netanyahu, what do you want, sir? I'll give you some more aid. Can I please say that I gave $60 million for food? Can I didn't, but can I pretend that I gave almost 1/3 what I'm spending on my new fancy ballroom? Can I pretend that, please? Sure, Trump, go do that or whatever.
Well, and big ups to people like my dear Benjamin from Cold Pink, those ladies and men who go down to that Congress almost every single day, risk being arrested, roughed up, Jewish Voices for Peace, others, Palestinian groups and leaders, and just people from all walks of life who have come together to say that this should not happen on our watch, and it definitely should not happen in our name and with our dollars. So if there's any silver lining, and I hate even using that term, it is that there are pro-peace, anti-war people out there who are standing up and really putting their bodies on the line, including our students who did those encampments who were maligned, just really standing up and saying this is not the kind of future that we want to have. This is not only untenable, it's immoral.
100%. As much as, on the level of the worst crises that you mentioned, others around the world. Let me just briefly mention that while America just can't do anything, it just doesn't really seem to have a problem with what's going on there, our leadership. There are a number of states that have put out statements against this. Germany, Britain, and France say that they strongly reject the decision to expand the military operation. A number of other countries are saying it's dangerous and unacceptable. That includes Egypt, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the UAE. Even Russia says it would worsen the situation. So Donald Trump in that little thruple is obviously the most submissive, I guess, of those. By the way, Australia is actually it's expected it's going to be recognizing the Palestinian state in the near future. There's some others that are working towards that. And so that's something, you got UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, a few states that are doing something as we all just watch another massacre every day. Do you know in the past 24 hours, 89 Palestinians were murdered. 31 of them were just getting aid. That's one day of it.
And what about 1,000 on the West Bank, with the settlers? If this was happening in Tel Aviv, Israel would not be responding in this way. I mean, that's really something to think about. They would have found another way to respond. I mean, this is just so gut-wrenching and heartbreaking that people can't even try to get their basic needs met in a war zone. And this is the war on Gaza. It is in no way equal by any stretch of the imagination at all. And it really is going to take the American people, John, because our leaders, most of them, with a few, big ups to Congresswoman to lead, and others who hold strong, but for the most part, feckless.
100%, yeah, for a variety of reasons. And some of it goes back to what we were talking about. What's that?
Donor donors are in full control.
Exactly. Again, money, a big part of this.